Hey guys, Phil here. I've got something really, really big in my hands, and this is something that I've been really tempted to show you guys, and I think I'm going to do it. So what I have in my hands, I guess let me back up. I'll start. So this morning I was having my routine coffee this morning in the Starbucks. Ran into a guy I know who works for HBO. And this is a guy who is in the production staff of the Game of Thrones. And he's now working on a series here in Atlanta. And he told me, he said, you know what, I have something that I think you'd find really cool. And he pulled out this script, which I happen to have in my hands. And the script is for the finale of Game of Thrones, the one that's coming up this Sunday. So he let me have it. Of course, I can't tell you who it is. And it's just got things that you'd just be amazed by. And so I thought I would tell you guys what's in here. You might enjoy it. Spoilers, of course. Anybody who does not want to know anything that's going to happen for the series finale for Game of Thrones, don't watch any further. There are, of course, major spoilers in this. But I've got to show you what's in this thing. And I'm not going to go through every page by page. I'm just going to kind of give you the big picture, the big details that are coming up here in the movie. Of course, if you saw the last week, you saw everybody who died in this great big catastrophe in Westeros. The dragon came through and destroyed just about everybody, but of course we have still a good cast of characters with the main cast there. First spoiler, John does kill Dany in the finale, and he becomes the king for Westeros and of course the Seven Kingdoms. Kills the dragon, slays the dragon, and he takes over everything. So that's kind of the big, probably most of you knew that, but that's the kind of the big thing that happens right away. Sam shows up after that. Sam is Jon's best friend in the world. Shows up and he says to Jon, guess who I've run into? And it's Tormund, the wildling, the red-haired wildling that likes Brienne so much there, and he shows up. The big reunion there. Jon names Tormund his hand, and he becomes the hand there. Arya, who survived the big fallout there, well, she heads north, and she wants to rebuild the wall up north. So she goes up there, and she actually becomes, toward the end of the episode, becomes the first woman to oversee the wall there. So that was, she just wants to be isolated up there, rebuild it and everything. Sam actually returns to the wall and advises her about the wall and its construction. He kind of gives her tips and advice on how to build the wall, where the weaknesses were, how to make it improved. So that's another little thing that kind of happens there toward the end. That's going to be her destiny kind of going forward, is to be on the wall there. And so that's kind of a pretty cool thing. Sam is actually, you're going to see, you didn't see Sam hardly at all. I don't think we saw Sam at all in the last episode. You're going to see Sam in just about every scene of this movie. He's a real big component of this finale here. So the next thing that happens that's pretty exciting is Tyrion. He escapes, of course, the big fallout as well. Once Jon takes over, he asks Jon, this is a pretty big deal, he's going to Winterfell. And he lets Jon know his intentions there. And I think we saw some hints of that in the previous episodes, that Tyrion may be falling for Sansa. And Tyrion asks for the hand of Sansa to marry, which he does. And this was just kind of a great big scene there. There's going to be a big ceremony. Brienne is the maid of honor for Sansa there. Now this is another key moment in the story. You're all going to love this too. So Sam's is officiating. He's going to be the reverend to officiate the ceremony. Bran, who is going to escort Sansa down the aisle. Well, big surprise there. Bran can walk. He stands up. Everybody starts crying. You're going to start crying too, I'm sure, when we all see this. Walks Sansa down the aisle, and that is just an incredible moment, incredible scene, very powerful, very emotional. Everybody's just going to be bawling their eyes out there. And so he walks Sansa down the aisle. Jon's there. Everybody's there. Tormund is there. In the ceremony, Tormund, who's been pining for Brienne this whole time, he, in the middle of the ceremony, and I'm reading it, I'm looking at it here, asks for Brienne to get married. Brienne accepts. Double wedding. It's going to be double wedding. Sansa, Tyrion, and Tormund and Brienne. It's just amazing what they've packed into this show. I can't believe it myself, but this is what I'm reading here. So big party scene, and that's kind of the big major plot points of the finale here. It's going to be pretty awesome. Then at the very, very end, the Mountain, who we saw kind of plummet there to the bottom of the castle, we see him at the very end of the show. The Mountain emerges from this pile of rubble and ash and smoke. Well, he survived this. He survived the fall and survived the fire. We've seen him, he's got the scarring on his face where he'd been burned before. Well, turns out he is part of the Dragon clan there, apparently. Looks like he's going to be the father of dragons. It can't be burned, and he survives this whole ordeal, comes out of the rubble, and then you see him kind of walking off into the distance. Screen goes black. The end, ? At the very end of this show. What's going to happen after that, I don't know. The show's over, I guess, but is there going to be a spin-off with the Mountain? Could be. Wouldn't rule that out, but this was just a incredible little spoiler here, and thought I'd share it with you guys, all you Game of Thrones fans out there. But take it for what it's worth. This came directly from the source's mouth, the horse's mouth. And enjoy, and talk to you guys later.